Since a very young age, I've always wanted to be a law student. There was a particular course, the LLB program is what it's called. And from a very young age, that's what I had my mind set on, that I always wanted to do, right? So I've completed 2 years of the LLB program out of the four. And I want to give you guys the lessons I have learned from being a law student, because very interesting. So let's get straight into it. So the first lesson I learned is that not everybody is your friend. It's very simple. Law is a very competitive course, and it's a very competitive field. So there's going to be a lot of people who pretend to be your friend, or who only want to be friends with you in order to gain something from you. So it could be notes, it could be help with essays, it could be anything. But everybody has a motive for being your friend. And people are so fake that you'll think you have a friend and then you don't, right? So just be very vigilant out there if you are considering being a law student, or if you already are one, that if you think you have good friends, quite possibly you don't, right? And just wait it out and see. There's a lot of snakes and a lot of people that will do anything to get ahead of you. That's how competitive law is, because you need to be top of your class. So people will trick you, people will pretend that they haven't studied for a test, or that they only done X, Y, and Z, make you think, oh, well, if he's not doing that much, or if she's not doing that much, maybe I won't do that much. Trust me, these people are doing 10 hours a day. Now, there's ways that you can avoid doing 10 hours of study and still get more grades in them. But you have to be very efficient and follow the 80-20 principle. What 20% of things can I do to get 80% of the results? But that's a totally different topic for another day, right? The next lesson that I learned from being a law student is time management. You need to be very time efficient, because you've a lot to do and not a lot of time to do it, right? So over 12 weeks, you sit 6 modules, and you need to give 77 hours of study outside of lessons per module, right? So it works out about 3 hours a day of study for each module, for each 1 hour class, right? And you're going to have a lot of readings to do. You're going to have essays to submit. You're going to have tests to prepare for. So you need to be on top of your game. You need to start from day one, right? Which is very important, right? And your productivity needs to be on point, like 100% on point. You can't be slacking. And it's very easy, to fall behind on things. It's a very difficult degree. And yeah, if you're unable to manage your time, you will get nowhere in the degree. It's that simple, to be honest with you, right? Like, people with poor time management skills will sit down, eat their lunch, talk with people, and keep pushing things off, and then things start stacking up, you see, right? And that's what I mean by it's very easy to fall behind. The next lesson, this goes back to not everybody's your friend, right? You also don't want to piss people off, right? Because you don't know who's going to be who in the future. And if you're looking for a good job in a good law firm, you don't know who's going to be working at what law firm, if someone in your class is going to actually own a high street law firm. You get me? See, you need to keep on good terms with people and have people who would be considered good connections in the future. And that's what I mean. A lot of things in law are transactional. You provide something, I provide something, So it's not genuine friendship, but it's more, what can you provide me? What can I give you in return? And that can be applied to life in general, where you need to have, you need to be valuable, you need to be skillful, you need to know people and know things to get somewhere. And things are always an exchange of value. Life itself is just an exchange of value. You work for your employer, let's say, so most of you have jobs. You work for your employer in order to get your paycheck at the end of the week. Entrepreneurs solve problems for people in order to receive their money. That's how things work in the real world, right? And it's very interesting, right? Yeah, so that's that, right? You need to, the next lesson, you need to always ask yourself why. So if you think you have an answer to something, ask yourself why that is. So let's take the news, for example, and something happens. Why did that happen? And then you get your answer. And you see, if you're trying to explain something to someone, you need to be able to answer 10 whys, if you get me. So if you have a belief about something, ask yourself why you have that belief, and then ask yourself why. Keep asking yourself why. And if you can't answer yourself for 6 or 7 or more whys, then that belief, question why you have it. You get me? So see if you can change it, or see if you can elaborate on it, and then it'll broaden your perspectives, broaden your horizon, and then you're not just a one-dimensional person. You get me? Awesome, right? So the next lesson, which is a weird one, is there's never a solid answer to anything. So you're probably wondering what I mean by that, right? In law, a lot of the answers to questions is it depends. It's always an it depends situation. It's never yes or no or right or wrong. It depends. So how can you apply that to real life? Well, it depends. Nothing is ever set in stone in life, right? So if you have someone's word for something, don't take it at face value. If you think you're about to close a deal, don't automatically assume you have that deal closed. Something could come up. Anything can happen. The thing could go either way. So if someone was to ask a solicitor, do you think I'll win this case? You might. It depends. You get me? It's never clean and cut. And it's why if someone says something to me like, see you tomorrow, you might. Because if they don't see me tomorrow, they can't get mad at me for not seeing me, because I said, well, you mightn't see me tomorrow. You get me? Because like I could plan on doing something or saying something, but something could get in the way of that, and then I don't get to say it. So it's an it depends type of situation. You get me? Okay. Right. So I just want to add to the end that your work ethic you need to have a great work ethic to be a law student. Like, you need to be very disciplined on yourself. You need to be able to do the work without anybody watching you and without being instructed to do the work. There's always work to be done, and if you can't find that, law is just not for you. If you're not willing to put in the hours, law is not for you. But it's a great degree. I love it. And it can open so many doors, but you need to be prepared for it. You get me? But at the end of the day, if it's something you really want to do, you're going to love it, as long as you're able to keep up with the work. The amount of people that give out, like, what were you expecting? Were you expecting a law degree to be a breeze and a walk in the park, a breeze? No. So don't give out with the workload. Don't give out that your lecturers give out a lot and lecture you a lot on little things. You know what I mean? So you need to have thick skin in this industry. You need to literally be emotionless. Your emotions need to be left at the door. Because if you're to walk into class and your lecturer is to eat the face off the entire class for something, and you're going to get really emotional over it, like, they're preparing you for what the real world is like. And people who are so sensitive and fucking snow fairies or whatever, snowflakes, that's what it is, like, they're just not cut out for it. Like, you can't be sensitive doing a law degree, working in law. It's very hardcore, it's very full on, and you know what you're getting yourself into, so there's no point complaining about it, if you get me. But that's it for this video. If you like these kind of videos, let me know, and I might start a channel about law as well to help you out with shit. So teach you things I've learned in my law degree. That might be a good idea. But have a lovely day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Just let me know in the comments, right?